with Coach JT, man. Do me a favor, please subscribe, like, give some comments. Just let me know what you think about the podcast. I continue to grow and have some dope guests on the show and keep this platform going, man. Real quick, as of today, not today, last 2 episodes, 3 maybe, I've done trying a new platform. So, but at all costs, no sponsorship for me, all coming out of my pocket. But if I don't know, you don't ask. So, hey, if y'all can. Hit the Cash App, the Venmo, Coach J916. Help me stay on all platforms, man. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, LinkedIn. I'm trying to be everywhere, but at a cost, man. I got to pay for this platform. So, again, if you can, Coach J916 at Venmo and Cash App. Anything helps. It don't even matter. But let me jump into this intro real quick. Man, my guest today is an 80s baby like myself. He started playing his college basketball at Rider University from 2008. He was drafted in the first round by none other than the Sacramento Kings in 2008. He holds the record for most games played with the Kings during his tenure in Sacramento. Also, this gentleman is a native of, make sure, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, where he led Lenape, is that right? Lenape High School to 2004 state title. Also, he played 4 seasons at Rider, 2004, 2008, where he was one of only 3 players in NCAA history the year 2006-2007 to average 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. The other 2, no big names, Kevin Durant, Nick Fazekas, they all right. But after that, he got drafted to the Kings. Played from 2009, 2015, spent some time with the Warriors, Toronto Raptors, even went overseas, kept going, special teams over there. Now, he is currently a coach at his alma mater, Rider University, where they get ready for their conference tournament coming up next week. None other than Jason Thompson, a.k.a. JT, man. What's up, my dog? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Appreciate the intro, man. It's good seeing you.
Oh, man, it's all love. You too, man. Been a minute, man. Time has gone past, like we talked offline. Everybody's grown up now. I think we met as young men, young boys in our careers, in our lives, right? But now, man, just to see the development of yourself, what you did on and off the court should be applauded off top, bro. Much love. You've always been that person to give back, put a hand in, give your funds, give your time to the community and kids. So definitely got to crack it off with that, bro. Appreciate you for all you did for the city here during the time. And, you know what I'm saying? But let's get into you a little bit, bro, because, I mean, I don't know. I believe it's been a minute. People in this area may not. The kids these days, some people know the history, but these youngsters maybe watch it. I don't know. But again, we're on all platforms. We can get the OGs, we get the old heads on here too. Coming from New Jersey, man, just give us a little background about the upbringing. Where you from?
Yeah, man. From was born in Camden. Lived in Willingboro, New Jersey, was predominantly black, and then my family ended up moving, kind of like in 5th grade, to Mount Laurel, and that was like an up and coming town. You know, kind of wanted to bring me in an area where the crime was down and the education was high. But like I said, that was a tough transition because going from predominantly black to predominantly white, you know, and at a young age, you know, I had to kind of make a name for myself. And that's pretty much what I've been doing, you know, since I was young, you know, my whole life. And like you said, you know, went to Lenape, and it's crazy now being a coach and even being a veteran to where, you know, it was accepted, right? And I tell people my story all the time. I was a freshman and I played freshman, right? I knew I was good enough to play either JV or varsity, but I accepted that role, and a couple of other guys did too as well. We were undefeated freshman year. Sophomore year, we played JV. We played some varsity where we were like, you know what, let's develop our games. And we had some varsity time. It wasn't about being on the varsity team and then not playing. Because at that time, a lot of the varsity guys were way stronger than us and just had, you know, different ability. You know, they were solid, but they weren't, you know, that good. But we were just like, you know, let's keep developing. That JV year, we only lost 1 game at the buzzer. You know, so just been around winning culture. Then all guys were juniors. We got on the varsity team and like I said, just became into our own. At that time, my freshman year, I was 5'10". My sophomore year, I was 6'3". So I was like more of a 2, somewhat of a 3. And then my junior year, I was 6'6". So I go from a guard to then the starting center in 2 years. And like I said, at that time, you know, I'm not really putting on weight. So I was about 6'6" to, no, not even 2, 6'6", like 180.
Wet.
if that,
Yeah.
you know, probably being kind. And like I said, they only probably lost like 2 games or whatever. We lost in the playoffs and we shouldn't have lost, and it just was a motivational thing. And I say that to say, then my next year I went from 6'8", grew to 6'8", and then I was 190, and then we went undefeated and won the state championship. So I kind of say that of just like, at the time, you're not really understanding because you have the talent to play at that level.
Right.
But like I said, it all paid off, and that with that IQ, it kind of just helped me to go to the next level. I was kind of, like I said, that was tough for me recruiting me wise because coaches would see me as a guard for most of my career. And like I said, before the Steph era, I was going in there, looking at my, family, like say, yo, I'm gonna make 3 threes, and a half. My goal was to get maybe at least 6, but all good shots. At that time, and like I said, that time in 2002, 2003, it wasn't just, it's more mid-range post-ups, and hit threes occasionally and stuff like that too. So that's kind of like was my story to go to Ryder, because everybody was asking me why that. From where I'm from, Ryder was about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Down the highway, and and I was getting recruited by bigger schools at that time because they saw the potential, but they were like, I had the red shirt because, like I said, I was 6'8", 190. I needed to put on weight. I never not played, so so I'm like, I couldn't think of just sitting out a whole year of basketball. I was like, you know what? Let me go to a spot where I'll be able to fit in and make stuff work.
Right.
And then that's where I signed my letter of intent to Rider University.
That's what's up, man. I mean, that's pretty much playing at home. No good, better feeling like that. Plus, family, friends that get to the game, support is still there. I mean, as you know, right? You start working with kids now, training. How much time? I mean, during that, let's even go like middle school, high school career. Would you say you put it on work on perfecting your craft, bro? Because as you know, right, everybody, it's known clock to say you got to get at least 10,000 hours in to perfect something. But how much time was it, man? We was in there. I mean, getting that era where it was outside ball, stuff like that. We playing. How much time was you grinding, working on the craft, bro?
Most important thing, I actually just talked to someone to this like the other day. I was saying that, and I say it funnily, but I used to, have school, tell my parents I was done my homework, and go right to the gym. And it would be either, depending on, we live, where I live, man, we have full winters and fall, so it's cold. So we ain't really hooping outside during that time until it gets to the spring and summer. So we would go to like a YMCA, CYOs. And you will get there. Like, you have to get there like right after school. And if you got there and you're not on a good team, man, you'll have to wait 2-3 games. So 1, it made you have to get there early. Number 2, work on your game. And 3, you got to get there with guys that know the game as well too. And like I said, like, I'll be lying to say that generation of where we were brought up, there wasn't that many workout guys. Now, maybe out where you are, but I know for sure there were not here. And most of the time, it was very expensive. I didn't come from money, so we didn't have that much money to do. We were doing the AAUs, the intramurals. But I say that to say that, we played. And that's what I feel like a lot of this day and age is missing. And then we didn't have people cameras and everything was in the house, and you worked on your game. And like you said, you ain't really clowning people either. They was just like, all right, you know what? Like, guys were stronger than me. And then I came back the next year or the next week, and they're like, oh, this kid he different. He different now. Like, he wasn't, you know what I mean? So I think that's what's missing in this day and age of like us playing and getting the runs in, man, and they were good. Like, we took accountability of playing defense. And like I said, nowadays you see in pickups, a dude will do one move or one rip through, and he's already at the rim. Dog, you're not gonna foul people hard, but the weak side, like, I'm as a big, I'm like, yo, man, you better be there on the weak side, yo. And it taught guys when they got to their respective teams of every game you play, regardless of pickup or not, man, you need to work on your game, and it will help you.
Yeah, that definitely, man. I definitely agree with that. You can see it. And again, I think it's just, it may not be the appealing thing, but everybody wants to be a bucket. But however, to win games, you need to get stops. You need to be able to stop other team. You need to be able to control pace or tempo, or especially my aspect, like Coach now, when I played, I would like to take the best player on the court from the opposite team out the game as much as possible, or limit him or her touches, right? If they can't touch the ball, then that means, that lowers their chances of winning. that work ethic grind, which you've showed since day one, where does that come from, man? Because I've known you a big mom and pop person since I've known you, since I've seen you, mom and pop, they rocking with you, they supportive. Also, I mean, but just in general, is there anybody else, or is it those two people who were key instrumental in that aspect of your life, or what?
Yeah, I mean, my parents, I give obviously a lot of credit. They brought me into this world. They were supportive. Sometimes you don't want to take stuff like that for granted.
Mm-hmm.
They were, pretty much at mostly all my games, even though they were working hard, 9 to 5s, and working extra time and stuff like that too. But for them to be able to believe in me and believe in my game and stuff. So anytime I kind of, asked for it, even if they may not have had it, they did everything they could to make it happen, and then would not tell me until afterwards that they had to scrap and claw, nickel and dime
Mm-hmm.
for it to happen. So that's why I was, that's why like my success, I just don't always just take it for myself. I always I'm very appreciative of what they've done and what they still do. Also, my brother, and like I said, like being
Okay.
able to be 2 years age difference and us having the same interest in things in basketball. And like I said, sometimes that's hard. Those are not normal things as well. And then for him
Mm-hmm.
to be able, we played together in high school for 2 years. And then, I think the biggest blessing as well, too, is being able to play in college together. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
not that many times that people could say that. And then, him being recruited and stuff, and him saying that, hey, I want to go play with my older brother.
Dope.
That's one thing that you don't want to take for granted as
Yeah,
well either.
that's definitely
And we
definitely dope.
yeah, we made a lot of history in
Yeah.
there and stuff like that too. So that was a blessing. So I definitely would say those three for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely dope, man. And the family is everything, man. The family support system is everything. It's impactful. Um, you get to Ryder after a good high school career, and playing with your brother for 2 years there too. Though, what would you say is the biggest thing you had to improve on going from high school? Again, the success is there still too, but now college, it's a grown man's game. Pretty much, then there, your skill set is higher, whatever. Bigger players, older players. What was one or two things that you say you had to improve on or add to your bag or put on for yourself to help you be more efficient and effective on the court?
Well, one thing I guess because having that same route I told you in high school, I had to be the guy every time. So if I didn't
Mm-hmm.
play well, we would lose. And if I played well, 9 times out of 10, we were going to win. So into my freshman year, we had like 7 or 8 seniors. So I knew I had to be the energy guy. I didn't know if I was going to take that many shots, but no one was going to outwork me. No one was going to outplay me. And I was going to do whatever it takes. I was going to dive for a loose ball. I was going to block a shot. I'm going to hit the open jump shot. Pass me the ball on a dish. I'm going to dunk it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I was going to stay, and no one was going to outwork me. I was going to be in the best shape ever. And like I said, I tell this story to people a good amount of times too, where we were in the middle of the pack. We didn't know when we were going to be rated, and we had a Christmas tournament. And it was one of them times we lost to a team that we shouldn't have lost to. So we're all in the locker room. I know these type of things, and we had a meeting, and everyone just going around saying we need to do better and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Yo, freshman, what you got to say?" And I was just like, "Yo, like we coming off the bench, giving you guys energy, and you guys will be down. We'll come back, bring the lead back, and you guys come back a little bit lethargic." And I was just saying, we got to keep that same type of energy, man, if we want to go and get the goals that we want to do. And like I said, it was all respect, no big time or anything like that. It just was from the heart. And I remember the coach the next day in the morning for shoot around, we had another game. He was like, "I hope you have walk with your talk. You're starting tomorrow."
Leadership. Oh, there you go.
But like I said, I didn't really realize what that means because I'm just thinking like, yo, I'm ready. But like, I'm
Yeah.
not thinking like, yo, what are the other seniors going to think about this? You know what I mean? And I had a double. We won, man. And Jason Thompson from Ryder is history from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I started the rest of my career in that. So
Yeah.
I always tell kids, man, like, a closed mouth don't get fed. You got to speak up,
Yeah.
and you don't ever want to have that type of doubt.
Definitely can relate that those actions, man. I mean, yeah, similar opportunity for myself at JUCO too, just being a freshman, but sophomores was there, but one kid just they weren't producing. The coach was like, "Hey, you gonna start this game? He was like, can you give me that every game? I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm in junior college. You know, I said grind. JC grind different. First started the game against our rival school too. Have a good game. He's like, man, keep it every night. I'm like, shit, yeah. At that point, I got no choice either. I'm not gonna say no, but as a,
Right.
I'm a 18-year-old buck something wet, and JC playing against grown men. But it's like that passion, energy, man. That work ethic will take you there, right? But you got to be ready for the opportunity too. You know what I mean? Prepare.
Mm-hmm.
So, and while that Ryder, man, has some successful numbers, travel, seeing different teams, even that aspect though. What were some of the highlights you would say your career over there while you in school there?
Yeah, I just was seeing the development. Like I averaged, I think, like 10 points my freshman year, 16 my second year. You know, we went from being a championship team or at the championship game to only winning 8 games my second year. And then not understanding what I was going to do. And then my junior year, I averaged 20 and 10. And then my last year, I averaged 21 and 12. But it was like I said, it was just I wanted to keep working on my game. I was getting invited to these camps, the top bigs and the top players in the country in college, because everyone's just like, yo, I just think he's a big, just putting up numbers against mid-major schools, which is, you know, is you know, they're giving you love, but it's always, you know, some hate with that. You know, it's a respect. So when I would see those guys, I was playing against NBA guys as well too, and holding my own. I was like, yo, I'm ready. So you know, I had a couple buzzer beaters. You know, playing with my brother, we had a lot. You know, our 2-man game was crazy in the pick and roll.
As it should be, just like y'all was in the house, probably, right? It's how y'all drew it up in the house when y'all was little,
man,
right?
It's crazy. But also, like, with all the fun, he was like my biggest critic as well, right? Like, I can have like all the numbers in the world or whatever, and then like if I turn my shoulder, he on me like, yo, man, like you already playing at a high level. We need another notch. Notch.
That's dope, though.
And I
bro
was
pushing
the same. Yeah, and it was like one of those things where it's just like never being defensive. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, all right, like you're gonna yell, like I yell at them, yell at my teammates, then they on it, right? It wasn't one of those things where like you trying to fight somebody or whatever. We never really had those types of situations. And like I said, I always tell kids, man, especially my players now, man, you're never gonna have these moments ever again. So try to make the best of it. Because some guys don't even play basketball after college anymore either, man.
They don't think after high school. They don't make it after high school. Now it's over. You know what I mean? It's
so you
over.
can't take all that stuff for granted and make the best of your situation, because the worst thing is regret and I could have did more. I could have done better.
Yep, definitely that, man. Go through a successful season in college, man. Go through the grind, ups and downs, school. Well, real quick though, I always break down. I like parents break down this. What was like a daily schedule for you in college? I know everybody's is different, right? What was it like for you? What was your time schedule like with class and all that? How'd you?
Yeah, I mean, I was never a morning person, so coach kind of looked out for me on that. We would have practice like after, like around 3 or 4 o'clock. So that kind of helped me out with that. We had morning classes. You know, you had breakfast, go to class. I would try to get workout in, but like now we have a practice facility named, you know, after me, but we didn't have that back then. And then
really, shit, that's dope. That's what's up, man. Congratulations,
so
man. That's
we
dope.
didn't have that. We didn't have that then, so we had to share a court with volleyball and girls basketball and all those type of things. So I had to get my work, you know, later on and stuff like that too. That's why I try to tell the guys that, like, you know, it's a blessing to some of the things that they have when I didn't have. Then we would have practice, you know, get treatment and, you know, get to work. So, you know, obviously they didn't have the same type of things that they have now, but it was, you know, pretty straightforward.
So let me ask you this though: during them snow days, whatever periods out there, is that what was that like? Class canceled? All like now we got all these computers and laptops, Zooms, just no class or what?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess more for high school in a way, because you know those were like, yo, because you can't go on the bus, you're just gonna be in the house and stuff. Yeah, right. So, and then like it's whack because it feels good because sometimes to do that grind, you're like, yo, man, I just want to be in the house, but then you got to make up for it in June. So dude come around, he be like, yo, when the last day? They be like, nah, I got 3 more extra days because of the snow days. I'm like, come on, man. We don't need to know none of that stuff. So so yeah, I mean, and it's crazy, like when you're a kid is when you appreciate the snow and the snow days more. Playing in the snow, no school. When you grow, man, you ain't want to drive in that thing, you don't want to shovel, all that type of stuff. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Real quick before we get to this NBA journey, I got to plug one more time. Hey, y'all, if you can, support the show. Coach J 916 on Cash App, Venmo. Keep me on all platforms because this year it's going up, man. I got some more dope guests lined up. Appreciate y'all support. Appreciate y'all help and to monetize this thing as much as I can. The online store will be back popping soon. Don't forget, got some dope merch coming too. All right. Again, Coach J 916, Cash App, Venmo. Tap in with me. College goes through, man. First off, what'd you major in though, real quick though, man? What'd you graduate with?
Communications, TV, radio.
Hey, super important because whether if you get it then or you go back and get it, man, especially one as a black male, put that degree behind your name. But also it's an accomplishment. Always look at it for yourself. But told 2 things. One is for your parents, you know what I'm saying, like that. And 2, though, college is about life. Even though that paper says it's just somebody told me it teaches you how to, you know, if you can be organized, if you can follow through with stuff, if you can be, you know, work on communications. That's what's more college, the life skills of college, right? Navigating that space. You better say, I mean, I took this, I played ball, and I went to school, and I got the class because I know it's a lot of days missed for athletics, the travel, stuff like that, man. So again, I know that college teaches us more than just the educational on-campus stuff. It's a lot of life stuff too. But you said communications and what was it?
TV, radio, like not
TV,
journalism.
Radio. Okay,
yeah.
Definitely dope. You get to walk across that stage. What's your first thought or feeling?
So it was crazy, man. Even to like go before then. So the season ends, and then I'm still obviously taking classes, but then I'm leaving on the weekends to go work out with Tim Grover. Yeah, to go work out with Tim Grover in Chicago. So I'm flying to Chicago every weekend. You know, through that process. And then, like I said, I had to, you know, get an agent and all that type of stuff. So I was with Leon Rose, and like I said, then they had those Chicago ties. So, I mean, I always say this, like my parents didn't really want me to go to even the graduation, like just because they were so focused on me just working out. And I said, yo, I've grinded and worked too hard to not go.
Yeah.
So I was on that first thing smoking, and you know, it rained and stuff like that, but I had like ESPN, NBA TV pulled up with the team and stuff. It was dope, man, because they did a whole pre-draft.
Oh yeah,
you know, the day before the draft and stuff, and then they was on campus and stuff. So campus was live for
lit,
graduation.
as they say. It was lit. I know it was lit, man. You got a kid. Bring all this
it would have been better if it was sunny out. It was raining.
Oh, you know, it'd been a movie.
It was lit though.
Yeah, I know it'd been. That's definitely dope, man. Again, shout out to you and the family making that happen, accomplishing that goal. So talk about the draft, man. As I know, talk to different people, guys who are pros, no matter where you are. That process for you, man, was that really stressful? Was it like, okay, I'm still just a grind for me, or what would you think that process? How'd you feel about that whole draft process and workouts, man? Because I heard it can be up and down different places.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is a crazy grind, and it actually prepares for you if you ever get the opportunity to play there, or to be a pro. I was like one of the guys in the draft that like worked out for maybe the most teams. I was just like, I'm just going to get my face out there and just be able to perform. Because like I said, it's one of those things where I was still a top prospect, but you know, if I can be able to keep, you know, going on the rankings, it was a no-brainer for me that, you know, my stock wasn't going to go down. I knew you know, the more people that kept seeing me, the more value I would have. So like I said, I was going in, and obviously part of the grind, I had some minor injuries too that kind of were nerve-wracking. And obviously you don't announce it. You don't want pictures and videos and stuff to go out, but
right.
But yeah, man, it was, you know, you had to cancel some workouts, some this, and just play through the pain, which I did. But like I said, it just made me stronger. Eventually, I was at home for the draft, even though they gave me a suit and everything like that. So I was
about to ask you, what did you wear? I was about to ask.
Yeah, so I worked out for the Nets and the Knicks, New Jersey Nets and Knicks at the time. They had their own workout. So then they're like, hey, before you go back to Philly, go stop at the draft hotel that we have a suit for you. So I'm like, all right, cool. All right. So I go see everybody or whatever, get the suit, and then I got to catch the train. And then, I ended up, like I said, being at the house. So I had, what was it? It was like a what is it? Like a bright silver, it was fly though, with the yellow John, with the yellow yellow shirt John. It was fly, man. It was fly. But like I said, I had Comcast, ESPN, NBA TV all at the house. So, during that time, they had a thing where I ended up like going with the Sixers that day. Like a little segment. I didn't work out for them or anything, but just met with them and stuff like that. Obviously made a good story and stuff. But they were still they were at 16. I mean, I still remember all the teams that were, at the number of the draft and stuff like that. So then, like I said, I go back home. I'm there. I'm just trying to see how the vibe was going to be, and pretty much, you find out in a way how, because at the time David Stern was the commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in the kitchen, and then my agent was like tapping me. He was like, "Yo," I think, because I remember it was the Blazers was at 11, and I remember Jared Bayless got picked, and and then the Kings were on the clock, and I remember that it was Sac, Golden State, like all those like a lot, like it was like from 11 to the first round, and then obviously things change if a team doesn't need a big or anything like that.
Right.
But I just remember like my family having the TVs on super loud. I had like private with my family and certain family and friends.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, it just David Stern comes up and goes, with the 12th pick, the Sacramento Kings select Jason Thompson. And I was just like, yo, I went crazy, man. Like,
I was gonna say, so immediately, right? That happens. You went. Who was the most ecstatic in the house at the time?
Well, it was like I didn't even know where my dad went. I think he runs outside. I see the closest
pops.
Brother, where they show us on YouTube and stuff. Where I hugged my brother. My mom was in the family room, like jumping up and down. My grandparents were screaming. It was a dope film. I honestly didn't know what I was gonna do, like how I was gonna react. And then I go outside, and the whole neighborhood was outside, man, which was kind of lit.
Wow.
Bro, I was going outside pacing
dope.
like hours before, and I didn't see nobody outside, and I got my name called. Everybody was outside going crazy.
Bro, that's super dope. That's dope. I ain't heard that before. That's super dope. That's community. That's family too. That's community though, man. That's dope, man. They all tapped in. That's super dope.
Then we called up a limo. And then we ended up having a draft. They threw me a draft party, so I go to the draft party. It's like 15 minutes away, yo. I didn't leave. I didn't get inside. It took me like an hour and a half to get inside because of all the people that was there.
Everybody outside. Wow.
It was nuts. It was nuts. It was love though. It was people from family, friends, high school, college. They had posters, camera. I mean, it was crazy.
That's crazy. Dope, man. That's super dope. Hey, I heard you mention about your grandparents, man. I'm a grandparents dude, man. Like as far as value, how's the relationship with grandparents, man, growing up through all this and seeing you go again? They seeing like their kid have a grandkid. How was the relationship with grandparents and seeing the maturity, the work ethic of their grandson, and then the payoff like that? How was they feeling?
Oh man, I mean it's a crazy feeling, honestly, and one that you can't take for granted as well either. Like I was saying before, of how hard my parents worked. My grandparents were the one that was watching us, when our parents were working hard. And that's why when the older you get too, you don't realize sometimes people's relationships with their grandparents either. Man. And I used to do interviews and I used to do talks, and they would go, because after the season, a couple weeks in, I would come home and I would mention some of the people that I would go see. And then I told them I would say like my grandparents as well too. And it's just like those type of talks. Because they think that like they just see me in the limelight. They staying up to watch my games in California, and they just know me. They're like, man, we changed your diaper. You can't say us nothing. They humble you.
Yeah, but also that appreciation and love factor, bro. Like they come, like you said, place like you said, they've not since you got created, man. They've been there through every step of the way, but also to see you develop, man, is that that self-respect, and that, I mean, again, for them it's probably priceless or timeless too. They probably couldn't even put it to words to see their grandson, you know what I mean? Like, that's definitely dope. And I tell all the kids and whoever's listening, man, value your grandparents. Take advantage while they're here, man. Like I said, take advantage while they're here, man.
Unfortunately, and like you said, you bring it up, they just had passed like within a couple of months, like 5 or 6 months ago.
Really? Oh, sorry to hear that, man. But
or about a year ago or so. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
it's different.
But it's just fortunate that the relationship that I had with them, and they were able. One of the best feelings was that they were able to come to Sacramento, like on the
game, right?
Man, yeah, like
crazy.
And they were still able to travel and stuff. And I really like that. We had a Thanksgiving there. It was dope, man. So I definitely, owe a lot to them from what they helped me out and stuff on and off the court.
Dope. I'm gonna ask this, maybe, like, who would you say your demeanor to? Because I would say my grandfather passed away a while ago too, but my grandpa was such an older, laid back dude that we could sit in the driveway, he'd be chilling, talking. Like, I don't know, who would you say you mimic, or your behavior, mannerisms more, grandpa or grandma like?
It's crazy. I feel like I get like from both, right? Like my grandfather, same, super laid back, but we would have we would watch all the Eagles games. He'll know every player from every year. He'll know all their stats, and I'm a huge Eagles fan. Yeah. And my grandmother, her swag, like how she dressed, she knew she came into a room and, she'll wear all purple with the hat, the necklaces, everything, and come in there and they're oh, she here. So I like her confidence and how she dressed and her swagger and how everyone loved her too. I feel like I got a little bit of both from each of them.
Definitely dope, man. Again, shout out to grandparents, man. Resting peacefully now for sure. Get the call, go crazy, draft party. Now though, before then, have you been outside of the workout to Sac? Maybe if you did or not, have you ever been to West Coast often or a lot, or Northern California?
So I had before that. We played. They had at the time they had Bracket Buster, and we played Cal State Northridge.
Okay.
And that's the first time I had ever been to California. And then we were there for like 3 days, got a win, and then went right back. So yeah, man. And then after that, the rest is history. Is staying in Sacramento for so long.
Man, so you get here. Again, as you know, right now, we're not, everybody says Cali, they think LA. Definitely not LA up here. Definitely not LA up here. You get here at the time, and you're still playing in what was known as Arco Arena at the time. Get here now, rookie grind starts. Was there a major rookie hazing process going on for you your first year here?
Well, one, just to start off saying it, like, you go right into it, right? Like I get there, we had like a pep rally at Arden Mall, and stuff, and then we got, in Vegas, you have the summer league and stuff. So that was a good feeling I actually liked that because I was able to see the flow. I played well, we did our thing and stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, man, one that went viral, and at the time when many times it wasn't happening, was I got my Escalade popcorn. So it was crazy. So we had to get like 10 lifts in a month at least. And for some reason it was that month I had whatever, and then I had to like do. So I got the lift. I had to get that one last lift in, but also the rookies had to get like breakfast. So I was like bagels and all those type of things. And so what I did was I got one of the secretaries. I gave her money, obviously, more money to, for her appreciation, and then, for her to get the stuff. And she comes through the weight room where everyone sees, and essentially kind of dimes me out. So
they gave it to you. I know they was on you.
During practice, they took my keys, from the locker room, and then I come back, and everybody can see it on YouTube and stuff like that.
And that's a lot of damn popcorn in that damn truck.
Yeah, Bobby Jackson was still playing. That was his last year.
That's a lot of popcorn in that damn car,
Yeah,
bro.
man, and it was, like I said, I had to get it detailed out, but it was, I can laugh at it now, but there was no laughing matter
I
at
know you was
that.
pissed. You dead right. I already know you was pissed about them
Messing up my
trucks, bro.
schedule, it was buttered like crazy on my seats.
Man,
Crazy.
that's crazy. And speaking of just some of the vets you just mentioned, man, Bobby Jackson, Brad Miller, shout out to them. Even shout out to Bobby, though. He's still here now coaching the G League team. What was the relationship like with some of those older guys coming in, man, knowing that you're the young buck of the team and you're around some OGs who've been there, proven whatever. What was that like?
It was cool. I mean, I was trying to just absorb all the information. Sharif had retired as well too. Then you still had Bobby in his last year. You had Brad, Mikey Moore was there, Francisco Garcia, Kevin Martin. Those guys, man. And it was just dope to be around. It was it was weird times just because, we had a coach that they were, thinking about replacing and stuff like that, and Reggie Diaz. So it was unfortunate times to focus kind of on basketball because you had to worry about so much outside stuff.
Yep.
But like I said, the older you get, the more you are more appreciative and you understand. And actually, Kenny Thomas is on that team as well too.
KT, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, and like I said, I'm sure you'll we'll dabble into it a little bit later, man. But one thing I could say about the organization, and I'm happy about the success that they're having now, man. But it's like way long overdue. In my tenure of 7 years, I had 7 coaches.
Yep.
That's unheard of. Honestly, It doesn't matter what level it is, right? And that's the definition of instability.
Right.
So, for me as a pro, I was always hesitant to, you don't want to call out organization, all those type of things, but it's uncalled for, and it doesn't, that's not the blueprint for success. So, like I said, in my first year, I had 2 coaches already, from Reggie Diaz to Kenny Knapp, man, and rest is kind of history.
I'm gonna flip that too, though, because I mean, yes, that definitely is tough, right? But for you, bro, what I can admire from a distance, and then once we became acquaintances and really know each other, spending time together, your grind, your consistency never changed. You never stopped doing what you're supposed to do on and off the court to make, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's, again, why a testament to you and your upbringing, because even though the outside noise is this, you still make sure I'm clocking in, I'm staying in the lab, I'm staying ready. And because if you don't do that in this business now, more so, you can't be gone, or nowadays you can't move around. But for you, again, props to you to stay the course, right? Because I'm sure it was hard as hell to sit there and do what you had to do, focus on this, still be a young man, try to grow, develop, and then only feeling that my job or the manager of my position, my coach, every year to year is going to be gone, eventually end up being gone, man. So again, that's a props to you, man, because to stay that tenure through all that, to that grind, right, through that work ethic, through them gray days, as we know, could it get hard. And I'm gonna ask this though, because back then, and I've been spent some time in mental therapy as far as a therapist, working as an advocate. What was your mentals like, bro? Like, I mean, because I know we had conversations about, of course, the good times, the hanging out we did, the gym time, working out, but we never spoke about how mentally we were doing, how you were doing. Like, I wanted to, how are you guys doing? How are you and Tay making this? How y'all making this work or manage or not manage? I mean, how was your mentals at that state where you were at?
Honestly, it was tough, and I wish I was able to talk. I eventually did, like in year 8 or so, but I was such a private person throughout my whole life at that time, and that kind of made me outside of my, outside of like
Comfort zone. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so, everyone always see me smiling off the court and stuff, and then like I was a different monster on it, but then it made me like I was unhappy, right? Like if you're playing in the best league in the world, not saying it was one of the best teams, but you're just being it, right? So, but then also it's like more of survival. And you didn't come into a training camp like, oh man, like this is great, right? Like, because eventually when I saw better organizations around better teammates, then you're like, man, your mindset is different when you're playing for a championship rather than just saying, is the coach going to be there at the end of the year?
Yeah, definitely.
And life is fair, but that's like unheard of. like that, you know what I mean? And then not just the coaches, but then every year was a trade of at least 5 or 6 players again. You know what I mean? And then it was like, then I was like the last man standing. So regardless of that, and then not going into specifics and stuff like that too, but it was like, you know, I had a game where it was 23, I think, points and 22 rebounds. And then like you'll get some people that are teammates or whatever that say, yo, man, congratulations, and third. Other ones was like, don't get used to that. I'm up next type stuff.
Right.
You know what
yeah, I mean?
Like
that
things that is toxic.
Yeah, that adversity, not it's some adversity, but something is just the fact of, I think, not more so now. I mean, not now. It's always been there, but to me, it just takes away from what the game is for or what the purpose of the game is, right? Like you're celebrating teammates, working hard to get. That's what sports do. You know what I mean? Even if you're individual sports, celebrating others, teammates, working hard to come to one goal. But then again, when people say when you get the business or the money behind it or the incentive base, it can change people or it can change styles, but also the core of the sport, though, before people getting paid to do it, was something different. People wanted to go play together, or when we was in high school, middle school, we weren't getting paid. It was, you know what I'm saying? It was the sport to compete against each other. You know, put my name on this thing like that, or play with my brother like that, play with my boys. That's what the core of the sport was for, competition. And of course, I know people got to live. It's a business, and that starts to evolve, and people put incentives behind things. People's morals or values change. Morals or values change to where, you know, people do question, or you look at somebody like, man, I just wonder. But then in asset, it's like, no, the core of this is for us to be successful. We want to win as a team, because if we win, you get paid, I get paid, we all get paid. But then, you know, that life, I mean, people go through that, man. It's like, that's why I said that too, though, bro. I can imagine what you had to go through, what you had to hear, see, whatever, and still come to work every day, right? Because you still got to clock in. That's something that you hear on all the ESPNs now, all the shows, everybody's talking about these players, some not clocking in. I mean, you played an 82-game season, you know what I mean? Like that. So a shout out to you in that aspect too, bro. Your energy, though, on the sideline during a game. We would see it in our age watch growing up, but then I think you started win, lose, or draw to add a little more physical movement to it on the side of the game. Okay, now my question about that is, was that more so to keep you in good spirits, performing for your fans who are paying to see you guys play, but also give them something else to look for? Or was that something like you felt like you need to do? Like, I need to inject something, win, lose, or draw, to try to build something, because you created something different on that sideline for those years you were there. After a while, that was the focus, to see what JT was going to be doing in and out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it was like the first time, right? Like I've been fortunate enough, I guess, until that time to where you made me not playing the minutes that you played. Like, I know coming in there, even as a rookie, I didn't start. I earned everything that I got, and then became a starter for, you know, pretty much most of my tenure there. But like I said, like it was like part of what you were saying of like I was first of all, regardless of trying to get the help mentally wise, I was going to like family and friends, right? And then they're telling you like, yo, keep your head, this, and the third. But then all they kept coming back to is like, yo, you're playing in the best league in the world and you're making millions of dollars. What are you complaining about? Right? And my thing is like I was just so used to winning at those levels and playing at a high level and having great teammates and all those type of things. So I was trying to find a different type of spark to be able to go. Because one thing we didn't even mention is every year, regardless of a coach getting fired, the Kings were not going to stay in Sacramento either.
Oh my gosh, forever.
That last game, every time at Arco was saying, "Will this be the last game?" So I would have at my game, get showered, do the interview, come back out into the arena, and shake everybody's hands and talk to them, take pictures and all this type of stuff, because you just didn't know. And I didn't do this because the Kings told me to do it. I just do it for the kindness in my heart, man. You know what I mean? Like that was just the type of person that I was. So that's a part of something that was on your back, was dealing with. They were talking about Anaheim, Virginia Beach, Seattle, everywhere, man. So it's stuff that you don't have to worry about, man. And we were a dysfunctional team somewhat, and then still had to worry about outside stuff. To be being successful. Yeah,
man. Definitely. Again, that's, and like I said, that's, if people don't know, or they may think they know the surface stuff, but it was more so, even more behind the scenes stuff going on. Um, your community worked on the community, man, here and at your in your home state, home city, whatever. Um, was that something that you felt like you needed to do? Was it pushed upon you even more so now? Because I mean, I think even years ago, man, I think I'm gonna get this. The foundation, is it Crystal? Give me the foundation information real quick, because I remember years
So
ago.
yeah, so Jason Thompson Foundation
Yeah,
started in 2010. My cousin Tiffany Carroll passed away
Tiffany
with
Carroll.
heart
Yeah,
disease. Yeah,
yeah.
and I knew at some point I wanted to give back. And then when that happened, it was just, I was going to do the focus of, heart health and avoid obesity, diabetes, and those type of things. Um, and then eventually I had Live Like JT, where we were giving out,
Hmm.
stuff during Thanksgiving, the turkeys and dinners, and Christmas time for, holiday shopping sprees. And that's because my grandparents had made me go to soup kitchens, and this is even times when we really didn't have anything, but I just knew that we had a little bit more than them, and I
Mm.
just knew by just giving back and how the church was, and seeing the smiles on
Hmm.
people's faces of just appreciation. I was like, you know what? If I ever can make a name for myself, or if I ever can make an impact, I would want to do that. And
Definitely dope.
I think the best thing that you can do is consistency, because people think that if you just do it periodically, you're just doing it just because people tell you to do it. And I do it
Yep.
because I want to be consistent in the kindness of my heart.
Definitely dope. I'll give a highlight out. I made a call into him and a bit other homie at the time. I was at the middle school, in the Thomas Middle School, had a fashion show. Man, the Thomas Middle, they showed up and showed out. Man, I swear the outlook on them kids' faces. Again, everybody who had a part in that, man. Again, I may miss somebody, but I'm gonna run it down real quick. It was, I think, Jay Gaines, Jen Clark, Tyrone with Crescendo, my boy Steve. JT, Dante, Maya Dennis with the Kings, and she was also working. So many people, bro. But that fashion show, my boy Deshaunus, the principal was like, "Oh my God, that was amazing for the community." I'm like, "Yeah, they stay right around the street, but also helps have relationships. They stay over the corner." But I asked one time, y'all showed up, and it was just like, but not just show up to come do it, talking to the kids, hanging, and y'all were yourselves. That moment, like I said, for me, one was a blessing, but to see all the kids, the teachers and staff, yes, sports players can be active in the community, but also they can be approachable, interactive. Like it was, some people may just, oh, I'm signing this, I'm not saying nothing. No, y'all were not that. While y'all were here, I'll say that you guys were always approachable, on and off the court, in public to people, mad respect, and also the Goon Squad game we had during the lockout season. Man, like I said, that's crazy. That gym was rocking. UC Davis
Yeah.
was rocking, man. Everybody showed up. What I'm saying, all the players, IT cousins, it was crazy. Matt Barnes, everybody was there, in the local guy from Sacramento. Intermix the teams. Shout out to the sisters. I don't know why the names forget, Laura and Lisa. So
Oh
many people,
yeah.
man. Man, it was a whole community event during a time where we missing basketball, and we put it together. Y'all jumped in. We did it again out of kindness in y'all heart, but also took work, but also it was fun. That event went down as a good event during a season where we missing some hoop, man. Like we need some basketball, so that's definitely dope. You go through Sacramento, go through your times, go through a couple other teams at the point where you get ready to shift to an overseas lifestyle. Was that something like, nah, I'm not done yet, or now I got a little, I got to prove a little more? Like, was it like I'm not ready to hang him up, or like, no, I got a little more left in my tank, man. I'm finna go. I'm gonna ride this thing to the wheels fall off type situation.
Yeah. I think it was more. I think in anything in life, in any occupation, you have to have some type of ego. And I feel like at that time, I knew I still had some left in the tank, and I still wanted to be. I knew I could still play in the league, but I wanted to be a focal point of a squad, right? I know that feeling of being the go-to guy, getting the ball, and those were the type of things. Was like I wanted to just keep playing that high level role, so I could keep working hard, and then see if I still had it. So I knew in those roles overseas, I would get the ball and put up numbers, and I would say not just selfishly, but like I said, keep playing the role that I'm used
Mm-hmm.
to of being a factor of a team. And also I was intrigued to play different type of basketball, to be able to put that on my resume and play through different countries and explore too. Even after NBA seasons, I would go overseas and just explore the world, man, and just do things that I never thought I'd be able to do.
Definitely a
So
blessing.
yeah, so I was able to do that, and I did China for a couple of years, and that was similar to the NBA when it comes to scoring, and it was only 5 months or 6 months, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that first year, I went to play in Europe, which was 10 months. And once I did that,
Oh,
I had a more appreciation for guys
yeah.
playing at 10 months. Two different leagues. I got to the EuroLeague championship where we played Luka.
Okay.
In the Final Four in the championship, we lost. I never had a championship where I won or lost and still had to keep playing.
Mm.
And
Oh,
then
wow.
then we played in Turkey, the Turkish championship, and we won. And then we won the championship, and they're like, "I'll see you in a couple of months." I'm like, "What?" So that 10-month grind. I remember getting there like the first week of August, and we got the two championships, and I was done like mid-June, and they were like, see you in the first week of August again." I was like,
I'm holla at
I
y'all.
don't know about that, man. I don't know about
I'm holla at y'all.
that.
That's crazy. That's what's up. So,
Right.
yeah, that's crazy. Get through that phase. What's the plan, or how did that idea to go get on the college coaching bench come about, man? Because it happened quick. It was a quick shift. Like, I'm right into this. How'd that come up?
Well, so I started a company with training company with my brother Ryan, Kyle Hines, and Tyler Hines, and we're all from the same area. We all give back in certain type of ways. So we said, what a better
Mm-hmm.
way to give back to our community. We call it elite level athletic training,
Okay.
and we were all doing that and seeing the success and seeing our communities, respective communities, come together. So like I said, I was training guys and girls and guys. And I also was, while I was still playing, I was training in my gym. The practice facility at Ryder, is mine. Jason Thompson court. So
Mm-hmm.
I was doing part of training. So then I started, having great relationships with the players, and then checking up on them periodically throughout their season and stuff. So, and then eventually, when I called, I was just, reaching out to head coach Kevin Baggett, who was
Yeah.
a assistant coach when I was playing. So we always kept in contact and stuff, and it just, I thought it was a great idea to be able to join the program, and we've seen a lot of success this year, and
Mm-hmm.
job's not finished. We got the conference tournament,
Yes, sir.
next week with the 2 seed, so we got some
That's what's up.
unfinished business.
Man, big props to you. Get ready for that grind. Handle your business. Gotta get that ticket, man. You gotta punch that ticket
For
officially,
sure,
though.
for
I'm
sure.
saying you win
Yes,
that
sir.
tournament. Before we always end every show, man, you already know triple threat, right? Is our jewel pass shoot in basketball. But for you, man, and all the guests, just give me your triple threat life. Your three things, man. You can hang your hat on. Three things, either your morals or values, whatever it is, that people will know JT by, Jason Thompson, whatever they want to call you, Coach J, whatever you go by, right? Those titles. But give me and the people listening, viewing, watching, three things that you want to, put your staple on, your stamp on.
How hard I work. Anytime I put myself into something, if I tell someone I'm going to do something, they don't ever have to question me. They don't ever have to think that I'm not going to go hard on it. I've been like that as an underdog all my life, on and off the court, and I'm going to go to the max ability. So no one has to ever question that, and they know they're going to get the best out of me. And I'm a people person, and I'm not bougie, and I want to help out as much as I can. I would say second would just be giving back.
Mm-hmm.
I just do it from the bottom of my heart. No one ever has to tell me to do anything. And, like I said, I do that to the fullest. And, I have different events. I have camps that I've been doing since from Sacramento,
Mm-hmm.
and now till my hometown in New Jersey. And like I said, I've always done it like independently. And then now as time goes on, when I have more time, I would love to keep teaming up with people, advertising wise and all those type of
For
things.
sure.
And like I said, just to keep making it a big community thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, last but not least, I would just say, I don't take anything for granted. Just being very family oriented and friends and stuff is just, I guess it's just being blessed being blessed and finally being able to appreciate all the things that I've done. If it has to be on the court, and I kind of look at it at a different lens. You know, you don't ever want to have regrets or anything like that. Obviously, everything, if you believe in God, you know that it's God's plan and everything happens for a reason. You know, I was, you know, meant to get drafted to SAC. I was meant to meet you guys. We're meant to have an interview right now, years later, as we are all in different paths and different type of the world. And like I said, I'm even appreciative to know you guys, honestly, man. Like, cause I knew nobody in Sacramento. I knew Dante, and I had a cousin that was there. And then being able to have that comfort level when I'm a real private person. You know, and you guys taking me in with open arms, man. I don't ever want to take that for granted either. So I'm very appreciative.
No, man. As we talked before, right? Like just growing up now, we're not the same men we used to be, but also I see the progress. Like I said, it's been dope. Like I said, but I tell you, my guys, like Coach, your relationships you meet through sports can be everything to you if you take advantage of them, right? Because again, I've taken boys out of town, place like, man, Coach, you know him? I said, man, if I'm teaching or coaching or whatever, the circle's kind of the same, but also if you're approachable or if you know, I mean, if you value relationships, you know what I'm saying, do right by people, I can come back 10 years later and be like, hey, man, you got time for an interview? One time, yep, no second guessing. You know what I mean? That's dope to me. But that's, you know, that's based off our relationship or whatever. If it's looking out, or if it's having each other's back when needed. Like I said, we got a ton of stories to tell, but you know what I'm saying? It was for us to know. It was for us to know, but also those hold value, bro. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Best of luck next week coming up, man. And you know I'm tapped in for sure. Be watching, man. Hope y'all punch y'all ticket. Because like I said, when you win, I win. I'm not tripping. You get there, hey, my dog getting into the ticket, bro. That's a blessing in itself, man. So all them players go hard, man. Again, stay up, man. I'm gonna tap in with you. You know what I'm saying? I got the number we locked in. You already know.
So we both man, JT, man.
That's it. Hey,
always
yes, sir. Jason Thompson, Coach J 916. Again, man. Hey, good luck to the Rider boys this week, man. We out. Peace.
Appreciate you, dog. Yes, sir.
All right, yes.